Welcome to the new and improved Remo Show. Let's get it, let's go. What's good, y'all? What's goody, goody, goody? It's your boy Remo, and I'm back with another video. And welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to a place that was your ticket out. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Y'all remember that? That was Welcome Back, Kotter. It was one of my favorite TV shows. See, y'all don't know nothing about that. That's a Gen X thing. Gen X knows best. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. But yeah, y'all. Yeah, this is the third video of my Avenue East series. And in this video, I want to tell y'all about the drug dealers that lived downstairs from us. They were some black American drug dealers, and they were selling weight. They were selling kilos. And in the beginning, we didn't know it. But we found out because it was all over the news and all in the newspapers and everything. But it was like maybe like 5 dudes. 2 of them was a couple years older than me. You know, I think I was like 12, and those dudes was like maybe 16, 17s, and they already had fly whips. One of them had a Saab and one of them had a Maximum. And it was 3 older dudes. Them dudes dressed like Houdini to me. That's who they reminded me of. They used to wear silk and leather. Remember Houdini said, "We're the crew wearing silk and leather with platinum records." Yeah, we'll respect it. They look just like Houdini. They used to wear furry Kangos, you know, Perry Ellis suits, and you know, suits from B Foreman. These were some fly guys, and the young dudes looked like Rich and Alpo. Them dudes was more, you know, into the sportswear. They used to wear Air Jordan suits with Air Jordan sneakers, gold chains. They look just like Alpo and Rich from Paid in Full. And like I said, one of them drove a Saab, another one drove like a gold Maxima. I remember every time the dude would open that gold Maxima door, he used to talk. He used to say, "Door open, door closed." The car used to talk. And at first, it was just one of them dudes that looked like Houdini. Like, I would see him and his girl. At first, when they first moved in, it was a dude that looked just like Grandmaster D from Houdini. Him and his girl was living there. And then next thing you know, we started seeing a bunch of other dudes with their girls in there. We thought maybe it was like a hangout spot or whatever, you know. They used to be down there rolling dice, playing cards. You could hear them laughing, you know, playing dominoes. You could hear them yelling, "Domino, motherfucker," you know. And we just thought, you know, they was just into gambling and having fun or whatever. But then we started seeing all these fly cars pull up. I mean, every day, fly cars are just come and go every day. We never saw any fiends pull up. It was as if it was as if people was just, you know, dropping something off or picking something up. You know, it was like McDonald's. They would just pull up in the driveway and pull out, pull up, pull out. It was pulling in, pulling out, picking up something, dropping off something, or dropping off something and leaving. And come to find out, they was picking. They were really picking shit up and dropping shit off. They was dropping some packages off and not groceries. But you know, I was about 12 years old at this time, and you know, I was fascinated. I'm like, damn, these dudes got nice cars. And I'm like, these dudes ain't that much older than me, and they got gold jewelry on, and one of them had a Cuban link necklace with a King of Spades charm. You know, it was like a gold King of Spades card, and I was like, damn, that shit was fly to me as a kid. Now, I told y'all I was a thief back then. In my mind, I was fascinated. And at the same time, I was trying to figure out how can I rob these dudes. Every day, I used to think to myself, how the fuck can I rob these dudes? You know? So what I decided was, anytime they would park in that alley, it was an alley by Avenue E. It was called Knox Alley, N-O-X. A lot of times they would park in that alley. And you park in that alley, your ass was mine. Cause my uncle taught me how to pop locks when I was a kid, and my stepfather taught me how to break into cars and steal cars. But yeah, anytime anybody would park in that alley, I was breaking into their car. And I was young, and my whole thing was stealing tapes, you know. A lot of those cars was stick shift back then. I didn't know how to drive stick, so they was lucky. I wouldn't try to steal it. You know, I didn't try to steal stick shift cars. I just was breaking. I would just break in and steal your tape deck and all your tapes. And no lie, every car I broke into back then, I would steal all their tapes, and they would always have that Naughty by Nature tape in their car. Remember that Naughty by Nature first album, the one with "You Down with OPP"? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Every last lady. That album. It also had that song, "Everything's gonna be all right, all right." Every car I broke into always had a Naughty by Nature tape in there. This was like 91, going into 92. I had so many Naughty by Nature tapes, I used to just get the shits away. You know, they was super popular back then. Yeah, OPP, that song was like the #1 song for months. You know, so yeah. Eventually they would park in that. Eventually they parked in that alley, and I got them a couple times. Yeah. So what ended up happening was they ended up getting caught. One day I was asleep, and I saw red and blue lights flashing on my curtains like this here. All I saw was red and blue lights just flashing on my curtain. And so I looked out the window. I saw the two dudes that looked like Rich and Alpo getting arrested. Then I saw the dudes that looked like Houdini getting arrested. And so I told my stepfather what happened. I said, they got arrested last night. And he was thinking the same thing I was thinking. He was like, I wonder what they got down there in that apartment. Because we didn't own this house. It was a black lady owned it. You know, we just rented. And, you know, my stepfather, he would keep the yard clean and cut the grass, and, you know, he would paint and stuff. It was almost like we owned it. The landlord didn't really do shit, you know, and they would knock off the rent, you know, because my stepfather was good at, you know, taking care of the property or whatever. So they would knock money off the rent and whatever. So he was thinking the same thing. How could we get down there to see what they had? So he said, we're gonna wait a while. And I'm like, why is he telling me this? The reason why he was telling me is because what ended up happening, him and his homeboys, they came up with a plan, and they put me through the bathroom window and told me to come and open the door. They put me through the bathroom window, and they told me to go around and open the door so they can get in and investigate. So that's what they did. They put me through the bathroom window. And I remember when they was pushing me through the bathroom, because it was a small window, when they was pushing me, I let off a couple fart bombs. And one of my stepfather friends was like, don't fart on us too much. I don't know if I had too much chocolate milk that day or too much ice cream, but I had gas like a motherfucker. So they put me through the window, I opened the door, and I remember we was all looking around, and I went into the back room. It was just full of sneakers, brand new sneakers. Some sneakers was gently used, because, you know, drug dealers, they'll buy a pair of sneakers, wear them once or twice, and then buy another pair of sneakers, wear them once or twice. These sneakers was damn near brand new. They were brand new. It was some still in the box that don't even look like they have been worn. I mean, it was Nikes, Nike Flights, Patrick Ewings, Air Maxes, Feli's, you know, Uptowns, all types of sneakers. And they were like size 7.5, 8. You know, and I at the time, I wore like a size 7. But I was a big kid, so a size 8 didn't look too big on me, because I was, you know, and then plus a lot of times I would wear double socks. So I stole all the sneakers, and my stepfather took all their suits, all them fly silk and leather suits. Me and my stepfather, we was the fly guys. People thought we was drug dealers, literally. Come to find out, my stepfather, he was smoking crack. Well, he wasn't smoking crack. He told me years later he was smoking cocaine. He was Richard Pryor freebasing. That's why I didn't know, because a lot of people that freebase back then didn't look like crackheads. You know, they still went to work. They still drove decent cars, you know. And yeah, he was Richard Pryor free basing. So anyway, yeah, we was both fly, and it was crazy because I would go to school, and girls used to always be girls used to love me because I had nice sneakers. I already had nice clothes that my mom would buy me, but the sneakers I had a pair of David Robinsons. I had a pair of I was the first person anybody ever saw with Air Maxes on with the air bubble that was like this thick. I had a pair of green and white and gray Air Maxes. They was like the Boston Celtics colors. I had a pair of Uptowns that had the strap on the back. They kind of looked like them felines with the straps on the back, but they was Uptowns. They were purple, white, and gold, like the Laker colors. I had a pair of Reebok pumps. You know, people used to be like, "Oh man, this is not," because they had only seen the commercials. They was like, "Do they really pump up with air?" You know, I used to be like, "Yeah, go ahead." People used to be pumped. You know, oh shit. Even the teachers thought that I was a drug dealer. This one teacher was like, "I've never seen anybody with as many pair of sneakers as you." And he was like, "Yeah, I looked up them sneakers. Some of those sneakers are well over $100. And back in 1991, $100 was a whole lot of money. Too much to be paying for a pair of sneakers. And people used to ask me, where does my mom work? What do my parents do? And all these questions. And, you know, I just felt like a millionaire back then. I felt like I was the man. And it just was a good feeling. 5th and 6th grade, I just was the man. But I fell off in 7th grade because I outgrew all them sneakers. I outgrew all them sneakers. And people used to always be asking me, yo, how come you don't buy sneakers no more? How come I used to be like, I'm saving my money. I'm saving my money for college. Lying my ass off. Even to this day, people be telling me, people I went to elementary school with, they used to be like, yeah, I remember you was the fly dude. You used to wear nice clothes. You used to have mad pairs of kicks. Because in that era, 90, 91, a lot of people wasn't wealthy. They was kind of barely making it. They was just getting by. You see a 12-year-old kid dressing like LL Cool J. You know, I took a couple of their Kangos. I used to wear Kangos to school and shit. Man, I was a fly dude, man. I'm gonna toot my own horn. You know, so. Oh, now the car that just drove by me think I was tooting at him. Now I was tooting at myself, goddammit. Keep going, motherfucker. Yeah, so, yeah, the drug dealers got arrested, and my stepfather and his friends went back down there a second time, and this time they stole the kitchen appliances. Because our stove was broke. You know, so what they ended up doing, they put our broke stove down there and took their good one and brought it upstairs. It was crazy. Yeah, so, yeah. And come to find out, those dudes got arrested on drug trafficking charges. You know, they was transporting drugs from upstate to downstate New York. And they got hit with, like, some big years. They're probably out now. But all of them got hit with drugs and weapon charges. And meanwhile, me and my stepfather, we was looking like stars off of their misery and hard work. Yeah, y'all. Those years were some of the best years of my life, y'all. I'll never forget. And yeah, just something. It's something to relive, something good to relive and talk about. Would I do that shit now? Probably. I might break into somebody's house after they go to jail and take all their shit. Yeah, y'all. But yeah, it was a good time. And that was the beginning of the 90s. When all that went down, I knew the 90s was going to be a good decade. I'm serious. I just knew it. I just knew it because shortly after that, I'll say like around like 95, 96, when I was able to get my own job, what did I do? I tried to match the feeling that I got when I was in 5th and 6th grade. You know, when I was in 10th and 11th grade, you know, I would just buy nice clothes, buy nice sneakers. And then people used to be like, man, I remember you dressed like that back in elementary school. You know, they forgot about the years that I fell off in 7th and 8th grade when I didn't have as many sneakers or clothes or starter jackets. You know what I mean? You know, they just assumed I always dressed like that, you know, and it was a good feeling, y'all. Yo, on the next story, I'm going to tell y'all about these fly chicks that moved down there. They turned that apartment into a basically a hair studio. I used to see some dime pieces going in and out, and I used to be spying on them. And some of the shit that they was doing, y'all just gonna shake y'all head. And some of the shit that I was doing, y'all gonna be like, what? You did what? Yo, y'all, like, share, subscribe, man. Feel free to leave a comment, y'all. All right, 100.